So APARIGRAHA is the fifth and final commitment. It's commonly called non-hoarding. As a negative virtue, the A in the beginning of the word means non. The rest of it, parigraha, means taking, claiming, occupying, receiving, and attaining something. The essence of this commitment is to not become addicted or dependent on your possessions or the expectations that you have in other people. It doesn't mean to deny yourself of things. So you don't need to renounce all of the things that you've ever owned to do yoga and to practice the 8 limbs. It simply means to be aware of the danger of possessiveness. The danger being becoming attached or craving possessions more than you really need them. So there's 2 primary components of APARIGRAHA. The 2 components are hoarding of material things or resources. And then the other component is having expectations of others, specifically having expectations of others to give. So for the first part, the use of possessions and resources. This is very related to gathering more things than you really need and more things than you really use. So think of things that you have just too much of. These are kind of like violations, however small they are, of APARIGRAHA. The things that you own end up holding you down. So in terms of the resources that we have, it's healthy to save money, for instance, as long as you're putting that money, those resources, toward goals. The issue happens in terms of hoarding resources when we amass resources without a purpose, or that we don't have a good connection with our goal, or if we're employing those resources toward goals that kind of running contrary to what we should be doing. So when we amass resources without a purpose, we do that because of either greed or insecurity. And at times we may just amass, like grab more and more and more, and that's greed. And other times we work really hard to ensure that nothing can hurt us and that we are untouchable, and that we don't have faith in the universe that it's going to provide what we need. I'd like to give some suggestions on how to practice APARIGRAHA in your daily life. The first thing that you can do immediately is the old clean out the closet. You go through the things that you have an abundance of and you just don't need. And it would be really nice and very freeing to be able to rid yourself of those things, give them away and donate them. Another step you can take is to really outline and write down your goals. It's really effective in building your resources and aligning them in order to know what the long-term goal is and how you're going to use these resources you have today in order to get there. It really solves a lot of problems with hoarding and the feelings associated with it. So a third way to practice APARIGRAHA is to cultivate an abundant mindset. Abundance became very relevant to me when I compared it to scarcity. These are 2 opposing viewpoints. So scarcity essentially says you need to fight for everything. And if you don't fight hard enough, someone's going to take it from you. Abundancy says something different. The abundant mindset says everyone will have what they need. It says that we will not have to run our lives against other people and base our feelings on the relevant success that they have compared to how we feel about ourselves. So when we view abundance in terms of what's available to us, and specifically what we're going to get, then we're viewing it from a scarcity mindset. So this shows kind of a lack of personal evolution when it comes to abundance and scarcity. So what we're trying to do is talk ourselves out of something that we've really grown up in. We've grown in this scarcity kind of environment. And we're trying to talk ourselves out of it on that same level of thinking that we created it with, so that it's not going to work. So you see, the opposite of abundance being scarcity is similar to like competitiveness. So scarcity creates greed and competitiveness and jealousy and insecurity. And overall, we take some sort of aggression out on other people. The way out of this is through collaboration. It's through trust in the universe and faith. So having an abundant mindset allows you to think outside of the information that you've already been given. Scarcity says what's in front of you is what there is, and that's all there is. Abundancy says there's more if you can look beyond. So if you can nurture the abundancy mindset within, you'll be able to genuinely be happy for other people when they're successful. You'll be happy when they actually achieve some sort of well-being for themselves, regardless of who they are. You'll be happy when they have achievements, when they get good recognition, and they have just good fortune in general. You can have faith that their success will add to, rather than detract from your life. So for the other part of APARIGRAHA, the expectations of others piece, it's okay to have expectations of others when they make you a promise. That's just trust. So that's okay. An unhealthy expectation is when you expect someone to give something in the fashion that you want it. So there's this comedian, and he's like big into like transformation, really entertaining guy named Kyle Cease. He has a quote that says, "People don't break your hearts, they break your expectations." And that falls right in line with this. So when you expect too much of others, you become dependent on them. You're subordinating yourself to them for your happiness. You rely on them based on your expectations to fulfill some sort of desire. It may be related to your expectations of them doing like some sort of task, performing an action for you, or getting approval, or just their love. If your expectations are filled, then you're happy. But if they're not, then you won't be. You see, expectation does not mean love. A lot of times we expect our loved ones of things. Love is generally a pretty misused term in our culture. We think of love as some sort of feeling that you get from others. So just that statement alone, we think love is a feeling that you get from others. Parigraha means receiving and attaining. So love is not a feeling. Love is a verb. You love someone. So love isn't this feeling that you get from others. Love is an action you take for others. We commonly see love as this feeling. And to break from that, we have to be able to measure our own actions and see how we use our love to enhance others. So one of the really key phrases that I've used in my life that I would love to hear other people using is when I implore my love to other people, is simply say, if it's important to you, then it's important to me. And that's a really nice way to say I love you without it being so generic. It's a nice way to say that I will do what I can to help you achieve what you need to for your purposes, because it's important to you and I value them.
Don't make me cry.
Does it?
It does.
Why? Because it's the way I first told you I love you?
It is, and I didn't know that.